Setting, 4:30 p.m. Tokyo, Shibuya. The wind billows as our two heroes are on their patrol rounds above the city. Kotetsu flaps her wings, made from pure energy that radiates a vibrant humming noise. As the hero, Seishin, mainly falls as he leapt through the air. A portal below them slowly spins and writhes as if it were alive, with a similar hum to Kotetsu's wings, but with the subtle sounds of wailing. Spotted the Null Zone, Seishin says with a serious look. His brows creased as usual. Though only 14, his voice was more serious than his age would suggest. As his attention turns back to the portal, his confusion only increases from the unusual occurrence. But right in Shibuya? That's what the report said. And there it is, Kotetsu says. The hum from the portal only grew more intense as the wailing became more apparent. But a voice interrupted Seishin's focus. Filled with frustration at his stupidity and rashness as usual, Komainu, a lion dog spirit attached to his soul, spoke into his mind. "The hell are you doing getting closer?" she said frustratingly. Before he could answer, he felt a tug at his foot. As living tendrils of shadow moved and curled around his foot with the sounds of slime, as before he tugged down too far, Kotetsu's hand clasped his wrist, and he did hers in turn. As the wind intensifies and spirals, it is directed directly down into the portal's gullet. The wails intensify almost as loud as the sound of the wind. "Shit, hold on!" Kotetsu tries to scream above the wind, but Seishin only hears Kamainu's voice resonating in his head, one of rising anger, tinged with panic and urgency. "You fucking idiot! Are you trying to get us voided?" she says, but suddenly her voice seems to slur, and his sight blurs as the last thing he and Komainu could say in tandem was, "Fuck," as they are stretched out and sucked into the portal. The sound of bubbling lights its way through the darkness, and water drops seem to float through space. The hum of raw energy flowing in a place beyond recognition came from everywhere, resembling a wall of a tornado that obscured what was behind it, but ever so often, small glimpses would peek through, a sight beyond the veil. "What is this?" Seishin says. His voice was small and dazed, as if waking up from a long sleep. As sights blazed by, the storming sound was quiet and soft, like a strong breeze, less intense than before. "I'm not sure. It's obvious this Null Zone is different from our other encounters. These sights are not from our world. It's possible the rift was made to connect them, but by who?" Kamainu's voice tinges with suspicion, tense and wary, but also observational. The sound of bending metal and the clanging of metal, rocks hitting each other in a weightless area, begins to resonate. Sounds of sparkling, or the sound you think of when shown twinkling stars, go off around them, soft and gentle but ever present as they land on a floating platform that seemed to have been a part of a street. Around them are objects from and not from their world, including large buildings and even a train that unnaturally floats in the sky. Along with these crystals that show sights of moments from different worlds, a wild root of energy was connecting all of them. "I've never seen one like this," Seishin says, his voice just above a murmur and filled with wonder, as if seeing a breathtaking sight for the first time in his life. "We were never supposed to," Komainu responds. As they get lost in the sights before them, Seishin notices something to his left, turning to see something, or someone, familiar. The sight of a massacre of Yakuza in an alley. A giant familiar arm in the act of smashing a man into the ground. In the center of it all, a boy stands. "Is that me?" Seishin says, almost breathless at the sight, more tinged with fear than he was surprised at seeing such a familiar sight of himself only seemingly a few months ago. The sound of a ball of light twinkling, with branches that pathed into different timelines, like branches on a tree, all of it surrounding the necklace. Is this what I've become? He thinks in his head, trepidation in his voice before turning to relief at his now admittedly better circumstances of life. All his thoughts were interrupted by the sound of rumbling and the grating of concrete grinding against scales, rumbling the floor they stood on as the wind picked up. Ah, it took you long enough to get here, a woman says. Her voice is rough, and she looks much older than both Kamainu and Seishin. She looks tired, and in a way, as if the world had taken a mallet to her, grinding her down into submission. Panic rises in the duo. Is that? Kamainu says, only to be quickly cut off by Seishin. No way. There's no fucking way. A large snake coils and slithers, bringing Hasar closer to the platform as it lets out a venomous, deep hiss. Winds of pure energy threaten to blow Seishin off his feet. Energy whirls, and the humming noise is back. Even louder now is the wailing and screaming. Every life she's ever taken screams out of her at once. She relishes it with a cackling laugh as a battle starts.